Okay, let's go.
Hey team, Lizzie here. I'm your health and fitness coach. Welcome to the Metabolize podcast. I'm on a mission, team. I'm here to help you achieve your fitness goals, and that includes your dream body shape. Just so you know, team, that this is the third of 3 episodes on my experience back in Australia at F45 Training. So if you haven't listened to the first and second apps, please stop right now, go back there, give them a listen. Otherwise, this episode won't make sense for you, okay? But if you did listen to the first and second apps, here we go. There's nothing to wait for. Let's just dive into it. Okay, now you know that I wasn't done with my certificate 3 in health and fitness, so I would work as a social media content creator for Ray, the owner of F45 Training in Surfers Paradise and Labrador. So what I would do, just to summarize here what it said, my final words in the last episode. I would wake up at 4 a.m. to get to the studio at 5, do the classes at 5:50. So I would had one of the instructors record me doing the exercises and with a large group of people also working out together. And my videos looked very attractive, and I could bring in a lot of people, not only from Brazil, but from other countries of the world to the studio. They would join the community with different memberships. That really worked out. It was a very good start in the fitness industry, but it was just a matter of time to start working as a trainer. So, and this day has come. When I was done with my certificate 3 in health and fitness, and I was about to take my first class as a trainer at F45 Trainer in Surfers Paradise. But before I tell you how this experience was, I need you to understand how things work at F45 if you want to become an F45 trainer in the future. So when we have large groups of people working out together, before they get started with the class, they have to pay attention to our demonstration, right? So the trainers usually too, especially when you have like a large group of people ready to work out, they have to get to the studio a little bit earlier, like 5-10 minutes before the class starts, to pay attention to the trainers, because one of them, if we have two, one of them will prescribe and the other one will demonstrate. So for example, we have different stations, right? And every station has one exercise, one different movement to do. So if in one of the stations we have, for example, bicep curl, and I am the trainer responsible for the prescription of the stations, I would go like that. So you're gonna grab the dumbbell, you're gonna curl it to your shoulder, squeeze your bicep at the top, and then go all the way back down. And while I'm saying these words, the other trainer is demonstrating, is performing, is showing to the clients, showing to the group what they have to do. And we would do that in every station, right? So for me, the most difficult part was the prescription, not really the demonstration. Sometimes the demonstration, because as you know, I am more used to lifting weights. And F45 training is like a mix of different things. We have some CrossFit movements, some functional movements, and it was like kind of challenging for me to do some of the movements. But still, the prescription was kind of more challenging for me. Anyway, so before getting started with the classes as a trainer, I was working on the prescription. And we had an app as an F45 trainer to help us, to guide us through these movements that would give us like some tips how to prescribe, how to better prescribe each of the exercises. This app would help us a lot, but we wouldn't be able to read the prescription that we could find on the app. We really needed to have like the fresh information here in our minds to be able to speak while we were doing the things, right? So the clients were there in front of us, ready to perform, ready to work out, but they would take the time before the class started to listen to us and to see us performing, to see us demonstrating. So when we have a large group, we usually have like 2 trainers. One of them prescribes and the other one will demonstrate, right? So I was worried about the prescription, how to say the right words, how to explain it correctly in order for everyone understand me, okay? So I would take a lot of time just working on the prescription. But there's something else even more challenging. Sometimes you just have like a small group, and it's not necessary to have 2 trainers on the floor, Just one trainer is enough, more than enough. So what did you have to do? What would you need to do? Prescribe and demonstrate at the same time. Yeah, that was very challenging. That's like you have to do like Beyonce, sing and dance at the same time. So that was something I really needed to work on. And my first class as a trainer, professionally ready to perform on the floor, I was by myself. No other trainer to work with me at 5 a.m. So on this day, I remember I woke up at 3 a.m. I was very, very anxious, very excited, and very worried at the same time, and nervous, like many feelings, many different feelings here inside me at the same time. But I was grateful. I was still grateful. So I woke up at 3 a.m., went to the studio at 4 to get ready for the first class at 5 a.m. And I remember I had a couple doing the session. And I needed to do both things, prescribe and demonstrate. Well, I think I did well. Of course that I improved over the time. But for the first time doing it, like I was kind of studying hard for this first class in order to like have every single word really fresh here coming out of my mind. And I think it worked well. But I was kind of worried about the timing as well because every station has a different timing. And I think I made a mistake about the timing. And I know that the couple, they realized that there was something wrong. But anyway, they could do the whole class and nothing was bad. Everything worked out at the end of the day. But my only mistake was actually the timing because every station has a different timing and you have to work on it very well. It was only me and two clients, a couple, so I think it was not that bad. Well, that was very challenging for me and I was kind of concentrated on this, working and working hard to do like kind of better at every session to prescribe and demonstrate at the same time. So it was kind of hard to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to take the early sessions because they were like, as I said, the business classes of the day. And I was also bartending at the same time. I didn't quit the bar. So what I decided to do to concentrate on the F45 training sessions and just bartend on the weekends. So I canceled my shifts during the week at the bar, and I would only bartend on the weekends like Friday nights and Saturdays, sometimes on Sundays, but not usually. And sometimes on Sundays, but during daytime. And I remember that once, look at this crazy thing I did. I got some shifts at the bar, like very late at night, like starting at, I don't know, 11 and finishing at 4 a.m. And then start my classes, taking the classes, not only in Surfers Paradise, but in Labrador at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. For example, on the Friday night, I would finish at the bar at 4 a.m. and then I would take the first class on the Saturday, like 2 hours later, in the studio in Labrador. So I would take the tram to get me to the studio. So I would only have the daytime to rest a little bit. I did this like, I think more than once, 2 or 3 times. That was kind of crazy. I didn't really need to do that. You know, I wasn't kind of, oh my gosh, starving. I really need the money. But that was something I really wanted to do. I really wanted to work as much as I could. I really don't know why. It was kind of like trying to get concentrated in work because my goal in Australia was to improve my English, to build some resume in English, some education in English. So I thought that was important to also build some professional career, some professional experience in English. So that's why bartending and working as an F45 trainer, they were both important for me, right? And I did this more than once. That was very, very crazy. Sometimes when I remember that, I don't know how I could do that, how I went through these things, you know? And remember, I'm not that young anymore. I'm 37 years old. I was 36. But anyway, I'm not like a 20-year-old girl anymore. But it was hard, but I could do that. So just talking now a little bit about Surfers Paradise in Labrador. So Ray and Ash They are a couple. They owned F45 Training in Surfers Paradise and in Labrador. Since I was living in Surfers Paradise, most of the classes I took in Surfers Paradise, in the studio in Surfers Paradise. But then, almost in the end of the year, last year, unfortunately, the studio in Surfers Paradise had to close the doors because of financial problems. And that was very tough to deal with, to go through. It was not something easy for the owners to tell us trainers and also to tell the community that F45 Training Surfers Paradise was about to close the doors and we would only have F45 Training Labrador, the other community, which was actually a little bit older, one of the first F45 training studios across the world. But still, it is hard to close the doors when you put into work, putting the work, when you make a lot of effort to build a community. And F45 Training Surfers Paradise was there for 4 years. And because of money, they couldn't afford the rent anymore, so they had to close the doors. And they couldn't negotiate the cost of the rent. Unfortunately, the owners of the space, they couldn't like take it easy a little bit and try to make a deal with the owners. So they ended up closing the doors and the community of F45 Training Surfers Paradise. So we only stayed with F45 Training Labrador, that was there for over 10 years, one of the oldest studios in the world, one of the oldest F45 studios in the world. And what I had to do, I was living in Surfers Paradise. That was not that far. It was not that actually closed to Labrador. If I wanted to get there during daytime, I would need to get the tram and then a bus. That would take me almost 30-40 minutes to get there. But for example, for the early morning sessions, that would be a little bit harder to get there. So I remember that the first bus I would need to take, it was like 4:30 in the morning. But the first session at F45 Training in Labrador as well, it was at 5 a.m. So, and we as trainers, we needed to get there at least, I'm not sure right now, but I think at least like 30 minutes before the session starts. Think something like that. So for example, if the session starts at 5 a.m., we trainers had to get there at least 4:30 max. So 4:30, it was the time that the bus would arrive. So I wasn't able to make it for the first session, right? I wasn't able to make it to the first session, to take the first session, to teach the first session. So what I would do, I told Ray that the first bus was at 4:30. So I told him, I'm not sure if I will be able to make it. So he said, it's okay. You get the first bus and then as soon as you get here, it doesn't matter if it's just like 5 or 10 minutes before the class start, you're going to take the class. And since 5 a.m. was one of the crowdest classes of the day, we always had like another trainer, right? So I would get there and there was already another trainer ready on the floor to perform the exercises. Actually, when I got there, by the time I got there, the class had already started. So I was just there for the 5 a.m. session just to guide the students through the class, to correct them if they needed to make sure they were doing the exercises correctly, doing the proper form. So for the 5 a.m. session, I wasn't able to, because I wouldn't make it. I wasn't able to perform, to demonstrate, or to prescribe, right? But the 4, 5, 50 a.m., 6:40 a.m., all the other sessions of the day, I was ready to do everything I had to. So Ray paid me to work as a trainer and as a social media content creator, but without this concern of bringing in more people. And also because this community was very huge, lots of people. So he was focused on trying to take care of the ones who were already there, which I think was a very smart move, very intelligent from his part. Anyway, I was there still working hard on the floor, training. And on top of that, I was still doing my workout at the gym and at F45 Training. So remember that I was a trainer and I had to train. It was very exhausting sometimes. And I really needed to take some rest to be able to perform, to be able to work and I was still bartending on the weekends. So it was a very, very intense routine. But sometimes it would be kind of hard for me to fall asleep. So I decided to take some pills to help me fall asleep because if I needed to wake up at 4 a.m. to get to the studio at 5, so I really needed to go to bed max at 9 p.m. But I couldn't fall asleep at 9 p.m. It was kind of early for me. So I started to take some pills to help me fall asleep. And that's one part of my experience that I didn't like much. I've never done this before. It was my first time taking medicine to help me fall asleep. I've never had problems with my sleep quality. It's been always good, but I've never had to wake up at 4 a.m. to work. It was my first time doing such a thing. So I really needed the help of medicine. So it was something I had to do. I didn't have an option. I really needed to take at least 6 hours of sleep to be able to wake up and be ready to work out hard. Because if you want to become an F45 training, be ready. You have to move your body a lot. When you are on the floor performing, when you are on the floor prescribing, when you are on the floor helping them go through all the stations, sometimes you have to do the exercises with them. And that's not easy. So sometimes I really I didn't feel the need to go to the gym when I was done with my classes at F45 training, because after taking 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions on a day at F45 training, you think you're done with your workout. Really, seriously. And you have to have a lot of energy. And remember, I'm not in my 20s anymore. Kind of harder for me. Anyway, so this is a part of my experience I really don't like. But anyway, it's part of the experience, right? But thank goodness I don't have to take medicine to help me fall asleep anymore, because I'm not taking any more classes at F45 training. But I really needed to share with you guys every aspect of this experience. So I forgot to say in the beginning, oh my gosh, I'm wearing this top that it was one of the first uniforms we would wear to work, to perform on the floor. So I remember that I was still actually working as a social media content creator, not yet as a trainer. And Ray gave me this top. So I would wear this top to go to the studio and to record me doing the exercises. And I would post all the videos wearing this top. And then now they have another uniform. Now they wear a black shirt. I actually have this black shirt. But anyway, I just kept this top here because I think it's beautiful. I love it. It holds your boobs very well. And I still wear this when I go to the gym, when I work out. Is like a very good memory I keep from F45 training, from my time working as a trainer at this special place, at this place that gave me the first opportunity in the fitness industry. So I really wanted to record this episode of the podcast, sharing with you guys a little bit of my experience back in Australia at F45 training, wearing one of the first uniforms I had to work as a trainer. So here it is. I hope you'll like it. I love this top. So I think it is important to have memories, like all the things I had been through, my videos that I had to post, that I still on my social media. So whenever you want and you get the chance, go back there on my Instagram. You'll see many photos, many videos of my time back at F45 training in Gold Coast, in the city of Gold Coast. And I also kept this top, and I still have a jumper of F45 training. When I get a chance, I will wear this again, especially now that it's fall time here in the United States. So I think it was a good opportunity to wear the top again and show you guys this amazing memory of this incredible experience I had back in Australia. Everything was worth it, even the pills that I had to take to help me fall asleep, the nights awake, very late nights awake, on the weekends, trying to combine the life of bartender and the life of trainer. That was crazy, but anyway, these stories, they remain like everlasting. We'll never forget these experiences, right? And I'll never regret what I did. Of course, it wasn't healthy to do what I had to do, but it was not something that I had to do for a long time, just some situations. Anyway, it didn't kill me, actually made me even way stronger. And here I am, telling you, sharing with you my special experience back in Australia. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys liked my experience, liked my story. It really helped me improve as a person, as a professional. It helped me improve my English. Well, I think it was just good things when I had to go through all this experience back in Australia. I hope you enjoyed it, and please stay tuned in. There's more to come. So this is the third of 3 episodes. So if you haven't listened to the first and second one, please give them a listen. I hope you like it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my experience, for spending some time getting more interested about fitness, about health. And I hope I can help you even more on your health and fitness journey to help you reach your goals and build your dream body shape. See you in the next episode.